What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's Portia and Kieran. And we're starting a new one. We're starting a little series of...
I like to call it first and last impressions.
That's a good one. We'll just call it that. First and last impressions of shows.
And movies.
And movies. Well, it really works better on like TV shows.
No.
It's first impression and last.
No.
So, our first one is... Something, the Cecil Hotel.
Oh, yeah, we should actually get the proper name, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
One sec.
So, I'm going to start off by saying, if any of you lot have watched Donnie Darko, it's like a trippy thriller film, right? With like conspiracies and different twists and stuff like that. Crime Scene, The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel is like that. There's like 5 or 4 possible different scenarios for a situation, and it happens.
I would also like to say before we go into our first and last impressions that of course this is based on this is a true story, it's a documentary. We don't want to offend anyone with any opinions that we may have, and it's important that we treat this very sensitively.
We will.
Yeah, we will. But even like if you do want to comment or anything, please just
go easy.
Yeah.
Go easy.
Okay, let's get into it.
Alright, so we just watched the first episode of Crime Scene, the Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel. And it's weird.
It's weird.
There's something dark about it.
Yeah. I can tell that the next episodes are just going to get weirder and weirder based on the trailer, of course, that everyone, I guess. I feel like everyone's seen the trailer.
Yeah. So without spoiling too much, so it opens up and it tells you like the history of the hotel, the area surrounding the hotel, and the backstory of the person, a couple, and all of that jazz. And it becomes a head scratcher as it goes deeper and deeper into the show. Like,
yeah.
When you see the clip of the girl in the lift, it's like, what's going on there? Why is nothing going normally?
One thing I do like is that they included the clip in the first episode.
Yeah, because usually you get a bit later.
Yeah, you have to like keep waiting and watching. But this definitely like adds effect. I don't know if I'm meant to be like reviewing the show or not, but it's good. It's a true story, so it's a hard watch. And it's like, oof. And because it's LA as well.
The more I've learned about LA, the more it's like just become a place of an illusion.
The Night Stalker was in LA, wasn't it? Yeah.
Like the hotel presents an illusion of luxury and...
Even when we first saw the hotel in the documentary, Kieran was like, oh, I can see the appeal of it. And
then as soon as you leave the main lobby and like the reception area and you go up in the lift to the floors, it's like, what's happening? It just time travels back to during the Great Depression, which is how long this hotel's been about for. It's just weird.
It's just weird.
But yeah, that first episode was weird.
Yes, we will get back to you at the end of episode 4, unless something crazy happens in these next couple episodes, and then we'll have to talk about it.
Yeah.
But until then. Okay.
So we've just finished it. Oof.
We have a lot to say.
Yeah. First of all,
I understand why everyone's talking about it.
First of all, rest in peace to
Elisa Lam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Regardless of how we feel, others feel, the truth is in terms of how she passed.
It's bloody sad.
It was a tragic death. So
bloody sad.
Rest in peace. Condolences to her family. And it's weird because this happened 8 years ago.
It happened such a long time ago, and it's weird that it's obviously it caught light back then, but it's regained.
Yeah, so
even
much
more
attention.
like now, and yeah, it's pretty just crazy, especially like the time we live in now to back then.
And it's weird because even though we were like 13 at the time, now we're 21, we're the same age that she was.
Yeah,
we're the kind of people that want to go traveling. Of course, we're we have the the
benefit
privilege of stable mental health, but anything can happen. As you said, the world we're in today, man, bloody hell.
So, spoilers. This is a big spoiler for the show.
If you haven't watched it, pause now.
Yeah, pause now. It's the last time I'm warning. So, I'm going to jump straight into it.
Spoiler alert flashing on the screen.
Spoiler. Right. So, Elisa Lam ends up dying in the water tank. And what threw me, right, is that there's a conspiracy. There's like several different conspiracies surrounding her death. On a one simple fact that the lid was open.
Even that had me until the very end. Because I was like, okay, but the lid was shut. Like, how does that happen? Which is what I can understand why the people were like, okay, but it was still a homicide, because without that information, and how can you, like, the man said it was like a simple mistake. How is that? That's not a simple mistake. That's a vital
piece of information.
Error. That's, yeah.
So, Elisa Lam had mental health issues that were, I think they said bipolar 1 in it.
Yeah.
Which is like the most severe type of bipolar, where it's like hallucinating, paranoia, depression,
mania, everything, yeah.
Real bad. And then there's a clip, you've seen it in the lift, she goes, the episode's strong. But what gets me is the cool, calm, collective manager of the hotel.
Oh, she's dodge, come on.
The two detectives done the investigation and are now speaking to the camera lot. And the
last sort of the concluding views of the web sleuths, to me it was very,
and the autopsy guy.
All right, I got paid off.
Yeah. And
don't get me wrong, guy. Of course, to a certain degree it is okay. Let me just leave this alone and let the woman rest in peace.
Yeah.
But the way that the show presented these people to be such involved and whether it's emotional, like, they were so involved.
Die hard to their point. Like, and they were so convinced and committed and on the train of, this is foul play, this is not what we're getting told. And then at the end, it's just a simple,
oh, the lid was on, okay.
That's it. Like, that's all it took for them.
And there were a lot of just accidents. The police officer misspeaking anyway.
To the news.
The crossing out saying it wasn't an accident. No, it was an accident, not inconclusive.
Yeah.
Like, these aren't sort of mistakes you can make, and I don't feel like that's something that they would do, especially with a case that's so much in the public eye. Like, how would you let yourself be susceptible to public doubt in that way?
And Portia pointed out a thing about one of the detectives. He said something on a line. He lied, according to Portia, because he said something and he immediately looked down.
Oh.
And that's a tell for people that are lying. And I'm not gonna lie, I think that guy was lying. He was just way too...
Who are we talking about?
Not the detective in the suit.
Oh, him. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a bit sus. There's just so many, like, suspicious moves and things they said during the show, and it was just... Like, I didn't expect the outcome to be the outcome.
No. Not at all.
With all the evidence they gave, and...
Again, the way they construed it throughout the three episodes.
The way they built it up, it was just like, oh, something... This is planned. Like, from the detective that were on it, the manager, the people that worked... Like, this was all a big plan. And then...
And the way they were talking about the history of the hotel and all these eerie things have gone on.
Exactly, like
it was around Skid Row area. And
then I'm not a big conspiracy guy. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think Portia
I'm very skeptical.
We're skeptical people, but they threw information. So Elisa Lam was a student in British Columbia in Canada, and she was working on a tuberculosis research thing. There was a huge tuberculosis outbreak on Skid Row, the homeless area around this hotel. And then it was stuff like
the test for TB was called Lamellisa, spelt the exact same way as her name.
And then there was stuff like
there's coincidences, and then there's
the code for the research was like EGAV something, and it's to the cemetery she's now buried in.
From the bookstore, yeah.
From the bookstore, it's the cemetery she's now buried in. That threw me. I was like, oh, this is weird. Like, there's something going on here. Like, it was real weird.
Which is what I mean. Like, okay, a lot of questions were answered in the last episode, but these things, they can really just be coincidences, but they seem to just be conveniently forgotten.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not the kind of person that's going to be like, oh, there's a larger power in the government. No. But, I mean, you brought it to our attention. Address it.
Yeah, they sort of just like, ha. And it's like, I was like, here's the information, but we're just going to pull it back out and then blind you with this new piece of information. Like with the sketchy detectives, the sketchy manager.
And I think appropriate attention needs to be drawn to the poor death metal musician.
Right, I kind of forgot his name.
Who attempted to take his own life.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
He was scary.
He was a weird guy.
As in, like, I had to cover the screen because it scared me.
But considering how much research these people do, they didn't do enough research behind this guy. Like, yeah, he went to the same hotel as her, but it was a year later. When she died, he wasn't even in the country. Like, he was months out of the country. I think even year out of the country. Like, and they ruined his life. Like, they proper turn it upside down. And
of course, it may be different. Obviously, today we're a lot more familiar with the effects of cancel culture and all of that, and the detrimental effects it can have on people's lives.
But I think I think they should have done a 15-minute research of what this guy was doing at the time, and was like, oh, this is literally just a guy a year ahead of all of this. Like, he's been here a year ago. He's back in his home country, and like, what we're gonna do is ruin his life. And they did that. They destroyed him completely.
At least there is an awareness.
I hope he can
both sides of the story.
Come to an agreement of what happened to him and accept it and move on. Obviously, you know, different folks, different strokes. Like, he didn't deserve what he got.
But overall, if we're gonna talk about like the way the show was like produced, very emotion evoking. Is that how I say it? It evoked a lot of emotion. I was invested.
Yeah.
I was upset and scared, and it felt. I think I felt everything that they wanted you to feel as the viewer.
It was so sketchy. That was it.
So it was real dodgy.
It was just like, because they kept throwing a lot of information, and it wasn't about the victim or nothing. It was like about like other murderers and areas like the Skid Row area and the hotel, and like what the hotel by generation and by like what it went through, and you had the whole just weird detectives. Like, I can't let them detectives go. They was just really weird.
Yeah, from episode 1, Kieran was like, okay, if we were to have a movie, this guy would be the dodgy detective. I can't tell you his name. Hopefully I can find it and I'll put it in the video. But one of the detectives, him that was talking, it's just wild, and especially in a time where we have such large access to so many true crime, or because it wasn't even a crime in this case, but documentaries. It's just wild. It makes me scared to go anywhere.
Yeah, but one thing I did gather from it is like, you gotta make sure your mental health. You gotta look after your mental health, because that poor girl.
Yeah.
She went through it, and she had histories of not taking medications, and yeah, that was a.
Yeah.
The outcome of it all was a hard one to. I was like, oh, like.
Exactly. We need to break down the stigma about mental health.
Yeah.
But I think there is definite power in spreading awareness into debunking myths about mental health or mental illnesses and the help that is available. But that is it. That's is our first and last impressions in a very casual, laid back, lying in bed, video from us. Let us know if you like these sort of laid back review type videos, and we will be sure to do some more. Let us know if there's any particular series or movie that you want us to review. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up.
Big thumbs
Subscribe, comment, and follow us at
PVXCJ_.
on Instagram. Is that it?
That's it.
Alright, until the next one then. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.